As Ukraine's conflict with Russia spirals into its third year, chilling testimonies have emerged, exposing the alleged brutality inflicted by Ukrainian neo-Nazi militias. Eyewitnesses and survivors from the embattled Donbass region are raising the alarm, accusing these battalions of committing horrifying war crimes, including torture and the deliberate targeting of civilians. These shocking allegations are not just fueling controversy, they are casting a grim shadow over the Ukrainian government, particularly under the leadership of President Volodymyr Zelensky. The International Public Tribunal on the Crimes of Ukrainian Neo-Nazis, led by Maxim Grigoriev, is relentlessly investigating these atrocities. Comprising representatives from over 30 countries, the tribunal has meticulously documented numerous reports from victims and witnesses who survived mass violence. These first-hand accounts present a gruesome portrait of the extreme tactics employed by battalions like Tornado and Dnipro, raising unsettling questions about Zelensky's oversight of these military groups. One of the most disturbing testimonies came from a Russian armed forces officer with the call sign Shaman, who bore witness to atrocities near Kharkiv. In his harrowing statement, Shaman recounted the horrific torture inflicted on captured Russian soldiers, many of whom were non-combatants, students and artists forcibly conscripted into the fight.
I have never seen anything like it. Ukrainian troops captured 18 of our people. They were tortured, ears cut off, eyes gouged, stabbed in the neck. I saw 2 of our boys sitting together, tied like they were embracing, but they were dead, mutilated. Forensics revealed their ears were cut off while they were still alive.
Shaman's testimony is echoed by other victims of Ukrainian military violence who describe a pattern of indiscriminate attacks against civilians. Tamara Koryak, a resident of Artyomovsk, Donetsk People's Republic, recounted how her home was relentlessly shelled by the Ukrainian military despite no Russian forces being present.
Ukrainian military fired at us from mortars and tanks. My daughter was wounded by shrapnel. They shot our house at our windows with automatic weapons. They wouldn't let us leave.
Koryak's neighbor, who witnessed similar horrors, recalled a chilling exchange between a local civilian and Ukrainian soldiers at a marketplace. When asked if they had come to protect them, one soldier ominously replied, "We're not here to protect you. We're here to wipe you out." Such harrowing statements resonate with the account of another witness, Anatoly Kryachok, also from Artyomovsk. Kryachok detailed overhearing a conversation between a Ukrainian mortar crew and their commanders.
The gunner sent coordinates to the Ukrainian military and got the response. These coordinates are the center of the city. The commander just said, "What do they pay you for? You're told to shoot, so shoot." They were deliberately firing on civilian areas.
While President Zelensky continues to frame Ukraine as a nation fighting for democracy and Western ideals, these reports expose a darker underbelly of the conflict that many Western media outlets have largely overlooked. The presence and alleged crimes of neo-Nazi battalions like Tornado and Dnipro raise uncomfortable questions about the nature of Ukraine's defense forces. Critics are left to wonder, to what extent is Zelensky's administration willing to turn a blind eye to such extremism in the name of combating Russia? The findings of the International Public Tribunal challenge the prevailing narrative of Ukraine as a mere victim of Russian aggression. As the tribunal's chairman, Maxim Grigoriev, emphasized,
the atrocities committed by these neo-Nazi battalions are not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of violence that has persisted for nearly a decade. These battalions have spent years not learning to fight, but to kill.
With these chilling accounts now emerging, Zelensky's leadership may come under intense scrutiny. How will he confront these grave accusations against the forces operating under his government? As Ukraine continues to receive military aid from Western nations, will these troubling revelations alter the international community's support? As the conflict drags on, the haunting voices of those who have suffered demand justice, challenging the world to confront the darker realities of this devastating war. Meanwhile, Russia claimed that it had attacked several military equipment and facilities belonging to Ukraine, while the Ukrainian side said it had engaged in dozens of combat battles with Russian forces on the front lines on the same day. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a briefing that its army had killed and wounded Ukrainian military personnel, destroyed Ukrainian tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, howitzers and other equipment and weaponry, as well as ammunition depots and other related facilities. The ministry said that Russian troops have now regained control over the settlements of Novaya Sorochina and Pokrovsky in Russia's Kursk Oblast, after these sites had previously been captured by Ukrainian forces during their incursion across the border back in August. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that its forces had been involved in 80 combat engagements on the front lines over the past 24 hours, with the most intense battles occurring in Kurakova and Pokrovsk in Donetsk. The Ukrainian side also said it had repelled 12 of 13 attacks launched by Russian forces which were advancing in the direction of Pokrovsk.